His arms are wrapped around her, pulling her closer, roughly gripping her hair to tilt her head up, kissing her like life depends on it. As her heart beats faster and faster, it's almost as if she could hear the beat of an EKG machine, alerting outsiders to her desires. Before she knows it, she's pinned to the wall by his hips, only to find that her insulin pump tubing has been tangled intricately around a dangerous area. Realizing then that the beeping was coming from her pump, she quickly but carefully disconnects it, tossing it onto the bed, getting back to business. Anyone good enough to have sex with you will not think twice about your insulin pump, and having sex with an insulin pump is totally doable. To avoid unwanted tangles or compromising your infusion site, you can always disconnect the pump, especially if things are getting particularly rowdy. Just remember to plug back in after your fun times have finished. On other occasions, you might want to find a safe place to keep your pump, like under a pillow or safely beside you. The key is to make sure that your partner knows what your insulin pump is for, and that it keeps you alive. Disconnecting your pump can also be a fun way of letting your partner know that you're in the mood.
As they stepped out of the taxi, his heart was beating fast. The excitement was building. They crashed through the door, bodies entwined, clothes being ripped from each other's bodies. As they reached the bedroom, he realised something wasn't right. It was like an injection without the insulin, a firework without the gunpowder. He couldn't get an erection. Oh no! Erectile dysfunction could be down to fluctuations in blood sugar. High or low blood sugar, as well as uncontrolled blood sugars, can cause erectile dysfunction. It could also be down to alcohol, so if you have a night of fun planned, don't drink too much. There's also medical reasons why this could be happening, so if you're ever concerned, go and see your doctor or healthcare professional.
Just by the way, Mark would like to point out that he has actually never suffered from erectile dysfunction.
They clambered through the door and fell onto the bed, bodies entwined and tingling with the anticipation of sex. Reasoning soon gave way to foreplay. All rational thoughts were destroyed by their naked, rapturous desire for each other. It was only afterwards, the smell of sweat and sex still hanging in the air, that they remembered the box of condoms lying untouched on the dresser.
It's always wise to use protection when engaging in sexual activity. Condoms are one of the easiest forms of protection, but the pill, the injection, only needed every 8 to 12 weeks if you can handle another needle. And other devices are readily available from your doctor. What's most important is that your method of protection suits you, and that you protect yourself against sexually transmitted infections. Once you start having sex, women are more prone to yeast infections, especially if the blood sugars are out of range on a regular basis. Unplanned pregnancy can be stressful for any young person, but even more so for somebody with diabetes. When you're ready to conceive, having diabetes should never stop you from getting pregnant, but it's better to have the support of your doctor or DSN if planning for your little bundle of joy.
She was damp with sweat, her hands clammy, her entire body beginning to shake. She reached out with quivering fingers, longing to grasp it, to put it in her mouth. And then it was inside. The sweet, sweet pleasure, like a rush of sugar to the brain. She was coming round to her senses once more. The taste of that Mars bar on her tongue was almost orgasmic, lifting her out of her hypo. Sexual activity of any kind can be pretty physical, especially when alcohol is on board. And a hypo can be a common feature of hanky-panky, before, during, and after. It's therefore important to have a sweet snack beside one's bed, floor, sofa, shower. Dare I suggest anywhere else? For when a hypo could arise. And sweet flavoured condoms don't count. However, this is not to say that food can't be incorporated into the fun. Just be sure it's got some carbs in it and isn't too sticky. For example, I wouldn't recommend honey or whipped cream.